umepewa uwaziri ili uweze kuunganisha wanakakamega wote. Saizi anatumia wabunge ili kuvuruga chama cha ODM. Mimi nataka kuambia rais, you must call your CS Oparanya to order. Kwa sababu sisi
Ladies and gentlemen, I have said once and again, that the collapse of the ODM party is imminent and it will be catastrophic. Why am I saying this? The clip that we have begun with are snippets from a speech given by one Kakamega governor, Fernandez Baraza. And in the said clip, Fernandez Baraza has been calling upon President William Ruto to fire the cabinet secretary, Bwana Wycliffe Oparanya. Now, let's look at these in other dynamics. ODM bragging about its influence in the Republic of Kenya right now as it celebrates its 20 years anniversary is something that we are all proud of as people that were once lovers and members of the said party, because ODM has remained to be, for the longest time, ODM remained to be the party that speaks for the people of the Republic of Kenya. But the party is under imminent threat. But because of the money that President William Ruto gives to the party leadership, the party does not realize that it's collapsing under the regime of President William Ruto. The ODM party has been absorbed completely, and the internal ruggles being fueled within ODM, funded by one President William Ruto, is what will end this party's lifespan even before 2027 general elections begin. Now, currently, Governor Oparanya is at the threat of being, Cabinet Secretary Oparanya is at a threat of being fired from ODM party. The Kenyan political trajectory changed completely after the broad-based agreement between William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga. President William Ruto invited Raila Odinga and the Orange Democratic Party to a discussion that gave birth to a broad-based government. A few individuals from the ODM party that were picked and appointed to the cabinet by President William Ruto. This was despite protests from youth who had stormed the parliament demanding accountability and calling upon Raila Amolo Odinga to stand for what is right and avoid being taken into the cocoon of President William Ruto. Well, things are not working well as expected, and chaotic scenes are being witnessed in ODM to an extent. Ruto has been asked to fire the cabinet secretary, Wycliffe Oparanya. According to Governor Baraza, the former Kakamega County governor, who is currently cooperative cabinet secretary, Wycliffe Oparanya, is undermining his administration in Kakamega County. He is allegedly funding people, including legislatures allied to ODM, to undermine Baraza's and his development agenda. Now, Baraza has called to Ruto to take the seat and give it to anyone else in Nairobi or other regions instead of causing divisions in the ODM party and Kakamega County at large. Now, this is what is happening. Governor Oparanya, Cabinet Secretary Oparanya, has been funding one Nabuire, MP Nabi, as they call him, to undermine, to take up and fight for the role of being the ODM chairman in Kakamega County, and more so in the western region. But let me tell you, here the politics of dynamics are playing out in a big role. It is not only Governor Baraza that has seen the fallout of ODM in the western part of Kenya. The influence of ODM has been diminished to a point that ODM cannot take root no more. Why am I saying this? You have seen that even UDA, right? William Ruto is a man that knows how to deal with politics of deception. I remind you that once Rigathi Gachagua was impeached from the government, he gave us a snippet of what William Ruto intended for the current administration, for the party of ODM. He told us that William Ruto had told him that he will bring in Raila Amolo Odinga into the government and he will crash and finish ODM party from within. because ODM party remained to be William Ruto's greatest threat. Now, Ruto knows that his UDA party has no lifespan. It has no surviving span in the Republic of Kenya come the year 2027. Now, what best way to deal with his competitor, Raila Amolo Odinga, than to destroy the ODM party? I remind you that a few days ago, we did a video. And the video was in regards to the cancellation of the ODM National Delegates Convention, the NDC meeting, which was supposed to take place in October. Now, in that meeting, Raila realized that the agenda that was to be tabled and to be fronted within the party was the agenda funded by William Ruto and co. to expel Edwin Sifuna as the party secretary general. Are we together? Raila Amolo Odinga had to intervene because Raila Amolo Odinga knows that the moment Edwin Sifuna is chased out of ODM party as its party secretary general, the party loses its meaning. And once the party loses its meaning, a lot of people are going to defect from the said party. Now, to avoid mass defection from ODM party, Raila had to intervene and cancel the said meeting. More so, the brother to Raila Amolo Odinga, Oburu Odinga, was the person behind the motion of kicking out Edwin Sifuna as the party secretary general. Now, allow me to go back to Kakamega and the western region at large. Raila Amolo Odinga influence in the western part of Kenya. Allow me to say this without fear of contradiction. The western region has supported Raila more than even his community. The Luo Nyanza region supported Raila Amolo Odinga for the years that Raila Amolo Odinga has ran for presidency, except in the year 2002 because Raila never ran. But from the year 2007, 2013, 2017, and 2022, the Mulembe nation has always stood beside Raila Amolo Odinga. Remember, Wycliffe OPARANYA was the party deputy party leader. Now, when the chances of joining the government of William Ruto came in, Raila Amolo Odinga gave that position for western part of Kenya. He gave it to Wycliffe OPARANYA. But sincerely, the position that Wycliffe OPARANYA holds is non-influential. And that is why you hear Governor Fernandez Baraza saying that Wycliffe OPARANYA is funding goons to interfere with the politics of ODM in Kakamega, claiming that he, OPARANYA, never wanted to be appointed as a cabinet secretary for cooperatives. He wanted to be a cabinet secretary for what? For treasury, which is a position that was given to John Badi. But come to look at it. The quagmire, the confusion within ODM in Mulembe Nation, it's a great win for the opposition. Let me tell you why. Right now, Musalia Mudavadi is non-factor in the western part of Kenya because he dissolved his ANC party and merged it with UDA. That for sure killed his political ambitions and political future. One person, Moses Wetangula, the Speaker of National Assembly, his party is trying to survive in the western part of Kenya. The Ford Kenya party is striving to survive. Boniface Aluale is killing the influence of UDA in the western part of Kenya completely through his politics that he's currently carrying out there. The senator is finishing UDA completely. Now, if UDA is being finished completely, the Ford Kenya party does not have any influence right now. When you go to Trans Nzoia, Governor George Natembeya and the DAPK party are in Ragos. Here lives a widow. And this widow is a great window for Rigathi Gachagua and his deputy party leader, Cleophas Malala. It's time for DCP to sweep in and control the western part of Kenya so that they can now have a win for themselves come the year 2027. But one thing that William Ruto is counting on, the collapse of ODM party. William Ruto expects ODM party to collapse because his UDA already collapsed. In 2027, they are going to merge the said parties. UDA and ODM are going to be one, and they are going to front a single candidate for president and a single candidate for deputy president. But if they lose the western part of Kenya, you don't expect that the Rift Valley region and the coastal region and the Luo Nyanza region and the northeastern region to make Ruto president. No. But William Ruto can survive on the back of Raila Amolo Odinga, because Raila Amolo Odinga has never accepted a defeat. So if William Ruto is his candidate and even loses in 2027, they will petition at the Supreme Court. And they might even go for a rerun. But at the end of the day, William Ruto knows if he and Raila Amolo Odinga are together, it's either they win, and if they don't win, they shall take it by force by causing chaos in the Republic of Kenya. Now, it's high time people like Sifuna exit this party peacefully. It's high time people like Babu Owino exit this party peacefully. Because allow me to tell you and to remind you one thing. You know, there are voices that were within ODM that were very, very, very vocal. OPARANYA was one of the voices. One former governor of Mombasa, Ali Hassan Joho, was one of the voices. But let me ask you, why do you think people like Hassan Joho have left the politics of ODM and they have stayed away from the national politics of ODM? It's because they know that ODM has no future. Since the ODM was absorbed in government, that was the end of it all. Now, it's upon time they try to chart their own path towards the future of their political careers, because their political careers will be flushed down the drain the moment William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga finish their term in the year 2027. Ladies and gentlemen, can we count on DCP claiming roots in the western part of Kenya? Remember Cleophas Malala, that is not a man that you might play around with. You go ahead, cause chaos, play whatever politics you're playing. But remember, you have somebody that served as your cabinet, as your senator there, who is currently the deputy party leader of DCP. So the moment when he comes to sweep in that party called ODM, it will be dead and buried. For now, it's just mere talks. But one thing remains clear. These people, they don't understand William Ruto, because William Ruto anaenda kuwapiga bafu chafu vibaya sana. That's what's up. Tell me what you think about this. Leave a comment in the comment section. See you in our next video. This is the Kenyan Daily Report.